This is my sincere guidance for anyone striving to break free from financial constraints and live a life on their own terms. What I'm about to share isn't just some theory from a book. It's drawn directly from years of my own personal journey, filled with mistakes, experiments, breakthroughs, and eventual success. Back in my school days, my teachers didn't see much potential in me. They often considered me a failure, someone destined to amount to very little. That kind of constant dismissal really affected me, and it got to a point where I dropped out of school when I was just 16. I didn't have a clear path ahead, but I knew I had to start earning, so I began an apprenticeship in carpentry. My job? Making wooden trash bins. And guess what I was paid? A meager $2 per hour. It was hardly enough to scrape by. Every single day felt like a carbon copy of the last. It was the same dull routine, the same struggle. I was stuck in a loop, like a hamster endlessly running on a wheel, going nowhere fast. Deep down, I realized that if I didn't find a way out of that cycle, I'd eventually become just like the lifeless, uninspired co-workers around me. People who had given up on their dreams and were simply going through the motions. I didn't want that life. I wanted freedom, the kind that allows you to wake up when you want, pursue your passions, spend time with the people you love, and not be chained to a job you resent. I wanted to live life on my own terms, not according to someone else's schedule. That dream of freedom drove me to create a plan. I spent countless hours researching, experimenting, and learning everything I could about money, investing, and self-discipline. Through relentless effort and strategic thinking, I managed to achieve financial freedom and become a millionaire, all while still in my 20s. A lot of people reach out to me and ask if that kind of financial freedom is still possible in today's world. With rising prices, economic uncertainty, and so much noise online, it's a fair question. And here's the honest truth. Yes, it is absolutely still possible. You just need the right roadmap, a clear set of steps, and the willingness to follow through. By the time you finish this video, my aim is for you to have a fully mapped out path that can take you from where you are now to full financial independence, potentially faster than you thought possible. So let's dive right in. Step 1 is identifying your freedom figure. This is arguably the most important number you'll ever calculate because it represents the exact amount of money you need invested in order to support your ideal lifestyle without ever having to work again if you don't want to. Once you've reached your freedom figure and your investments are set up properly, they'll generate enough passive income each year to cover your living expenses for life. We'll go deeper into investing strategies later in this video, but before we do that, you need to establish what your unique number looks like. And no, this isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Financial freedom looks different for everyone. For one person, it might mean living simply in a cozy home and spending time with family. For someone else, it might involve flying first class, driving luxury cars, and vacationing on private islands. There's no right or wrong answer. It just depends on what kind of life you want to create for yourself. So, the first task is to get crystal clear on your ideal lifestyle and how much it would cost to sustain that life every single year. Think about the different areas of your life: housing, transport, travel, bills, food, healthcare, leisure, and other personal expenses. Then estimate how much each area would cost on an annual basis if you were living your version of a dream life. Let's break this down using real examples and data. Say you're in your 20s and dream of living in a vibrant city like Miami or London. Renting a decent one-bedroom apartment in one of these cities will likely run you around $30,000 per year. Want a luxury car like a Porsche 911? Taking into account car payments, insurance, fuel, and maintenance, you're looking at a total of approximately $24,125 per year. Then there's travel. Nowadays, Gen Z is more interested in travel than previous generations, with many aiming to take 3 mid-range vacations a year. That can set you back around $5,000 annually. Add a partner or friend and that number could double. As for essential bills, electricity, water, internet, and heating for a city apartment, these can add up to about $3,000 per year. Food, assuming a mix of home cooking and eating out, would come in at around $5,000 a year. Now consider health insurance. If you're in the UK, this might be minimal or even free. But in the USA, a decent mid-level plan will cost about $2,500 annually. Don't forget about fun, nights out, gym memberships, hobbies, and spontaneous purchases. A reasonable budget here might be $4,000 per year. Add all that up and you've got an annual lifestyle cost of about $75,325. Here's where the math gets interesting. To find your total freedom figure, take that yearly number and multiply it by 25. Why 25? Because of something known as the Rule of 25. A simple formula derived from the 4% rule in retirement planning. It estimates how much you need invested so you can safely withdraw 4% each year without running out of money. In this case, $75,325 multiplied by 25 equals $1,883,125. That's your target, the number you need invested to live your dream life indefinitely. Think of it like owning a magical goose that lays golden eggs. As long as you only take the eggs, the passive income, and don't harm the goose, your investment principal, you'll never run out. Now, how do you actually grow your money to reach that goal? That brings us to investing. Historically, one of the most reliable ways to grow wealth is by investing in the stock market, specifically in something like the S&P 500. Over the past 10 years, the average return has been between 12% and 14%. Though it's worth noting that the longer-term average is closer to 7%, 10%. Still, if you had simply bought and held an S&P 500 index fund for 20 years, historical data suggests you would not have lost money. So how do you get started? Download an investing app like Trading 212. Search for an S&P 500 ETF and start investing. The great thing is, Trading 212 lets you buy fractional shares, which means you don't need hundreds or thousands to get started. Even small investments can compound massively over time. Use a strategy called dollar cost averaging, where you invest the same amount regularly regardless of market ups and downs. Over time, this helps you avoid buying at market peaks and smooths out your entry points. You can even automate this using Trading 212's Pi feature. Step 2 is what I call hacking your life, optimizing the way you live so you save more money without compromising your quality of life. First, let's address car ownership. Too many people are caught in a cycle of paying ridiculous amounts monthly for cars they don't truly need. According to LendingTree, the average monthly car payment for new vehicles in 2024 hit $734. That's nearly $9,000 annually, a huge chunk of income wasted. What's worse, many people take on loans they can't afford, which is why over 100 million Americans have outstanding car loans right now. My advice? Don't fall into that trap. Instead, try car hacking. Buy a reliable used car that's already experienced the bulk of its depreciation. If you choose wisely, you can drive it for years and resell it for close to what you paid. Next, consider brand hacking. Swapping out big-name products for store-brand alternatives. You'd be surprised how much you can save without noticing any drop in quality. Studies show you could cut grocery bills by up to 87% with smart substitutions. For example, instead of buying a $4.25 box of Cocoa Pops, grab a $1.66 box of Choco Rice. Not only do you save over $2.50 per purchase, but the unbranded version often gives you more volume. Over time, these little savings add up in a big way. Then there's house hacking, perhaps the biggest potential money saver. Instead of renting an apartment on your own, consider buying a duplex or renting a place with an extra room and finding a roommate. You can even list a room or the entire place on Airbnb when you're away. I met an Airbnb host who rented a £4,000 a month apartment in London and covered the entire rent by hosting guests just 10 nights a month. If you get a place in a good area and price it well, it can effectively make your housing costs zero. Tax hacking is another major opportunity. If you have a small business or side hustle, there are numerous deductions you can claim: home office expenses, internet, travel, software, all of which can reduce your taxable income. And don't forget about tax-advantaged savings accounts. In the UK, ISAs let you invest up to £20,000 per year tax-free. In the US, look into Roth IRAs, which let your investments grow and be withdrawn tax-free in retirement. The goal is always to pay your legal obligation, but not a penny more. Deal hacking is all about smart negotiation. Whether you're buying a car or signing up for a service, never accept the first price. Research the going rates. Get quotes from multiple sources and don't be afraid to walk away if the deal doesn't feel right. Timing matters too. Shopping at the end of the month or quarter when sales teams need to hit quotas often results in better offers. Step 3 is to get a credit card and use it responsibly. Many people fear credit cards because they associate them with debt, but that's only if you misuse them. In reality, they're one of the most effective tools for building a strong credit score, which in turn gives you access to better loan terms, higher credit limits, and lower interest rates. If you use a credit card for regular purchases, pay it off in full each month, and avoid maxing out your limit, you'll build a powerful financial reputation. Step 4 is to build multiple income streams. Think of your income as a table. A table with one leg, your job, is unstable. If you lose that job, the table collapses. But if you have several legs, a side hustle, investment income, freelance work, then losing one leg doesn't ruin everything. There are countless side hustles you can start: affiliate marketing, online tutoring, freelance writing, e-commerce, or even something local like pet sitting or car cleaning. Leverage your existing skills to earn more on the side. And finally, step 5. Use money for its true purpose, to create more money. Most people think money is meant for spending or saving, but the wealthy understand that the real power of money is in its ability to multiply. Once your income grows, don't just upgrade your lifestyle. Instead, invest in assets that produce income: stocks, real estate, businesses. I personally keep most of my investments in low-cost index funds like the S&P 500. I also keep a small percentage in crypto: high risk, high reward. If you're just starting out, use a simulator or practice account to get comfortable before risking real money. There you have it, a step-by-step blueprint to becoming financially free. Want to learn how to set up your first investment account? I've linked a full tutorial for you next. Don't forget to subscribe. This is just the beginning of your wealth journey. See you in the next one.